now we've traveled down to the third deck, which is the hangar bay. So this design's much different. It is thicker walls here with some 2x4s resting, which is fixed to this top deck, and these are fixed to this lower deck here. I won't be doing that design again. I thought I needed some extra bulk and weight to be able to carry, to hold this thing together. But in reality, these could just be loose and everything could be resting on top of each other. And I don't need to fix anything. The weight alone of the plywood and everything above it will hold it together. Behind the scenes, that's not glued in. Whoops. I do like this interior, but once we move, I'm not going to be putting this back together like this again. I'm just going to go with modular design. I did get these little thin LED strip lights here, 60 feet for like 14 bucks on Amazon. Phenomenal. Strung them all over the place. I've got to get another set for the upper deck now. Moving through the hangar here, you can see how we start adding more design to the walls here. A few more details. Oops, sorry. A few more details. Like she's a real person. I'm sorry, madam. I didn't mean to touch you. And we've got some workbenches, just some places for them to be able to sit. I'll get some better angles from the other side here, transitioning deeper, and you can see the entire length of this hangar here. More Joy Toy figures, Interstellar. I wonder if she changed her name to Joy Toy Backyard Battles in hindsight. And again, I like this deck, this part of the deck here, because it transitions to like a T hallway and kind of splits, so you can go either way. Very hard to play. You can see that one figure right back there. He's just kind of wedged in there. And then we've got little E-frame bays here. This design, these are not permanent in there. These can slide out of there because I wasn't sure. Maybe I wanted to put a fighter jet in here. So those can come out. Hindsight, doesn't really matter because I'm not doing this design again. And then you've got like the little, their ammo bay where they can load up on, and a ridiculously large cannon. And we'll go ahead and transition to the port side of this. Here's the nose of the ship. So really ugly with those exposed wires there. I know that. We're going to get something to cover those up, but I just ripped out the old set and put those new ones in there. So with that went all the things that were disguising it. But this idea of this is to have a fighter be able to come out through the front of there. And again, this is just the other side of the hangar we saw on the port side there. So a little charging station, some panels. We'll still add some more details to. Bunch of payload guys, countdown running around here. More ships. Classic mech loader. The Alien Queen comes on board. We're ready for her. And there's the back side of or front side, I guess, the Joy Toy figures. Yep, Army building some sci-fis too, because why not? More details. Actually, this is getting pretty long right there with the detailing that's getting there. We can do some more exterior paints. And then another E-frame bay. This is the green bay. And you've got a little missile and stack station there. And we'll transition down to the lower deck. So again, starting from the nose here. Yep, little raw piece of wood. Just started adding some details in here. We're gonna make a little gear holder and ammo locker, so when our troops come in and start enjoying their defect, they've got a place to put all their gear. There's a bunch of barricades in there. Yep, Army building them. I know they're blue and gold, but they look really cool when there's a bunch of them together. A few Marauders tables, and I regret gluing those things onto the walls because I don't like the color. And again, we're gonna break this down eventually, so next time I'll just have sliding stations that can go in there. But here's what I did learn in the lesson. This is the, again, hot mess because my kids were playing in here. Just the way we want it though. Nothing's for show. Unfortunately, our rocking chair didn't make it even after a glue attempt. There's a little bar that was glued, but this one is actually a playset. You can see it's on the stand there. It will slide right out. So in the future, that's how we're doing all of our playsets there. And from the bar, we'll transition here to the other long hallway. Again, it doesn't seem that deep, but that is a stretch to be able to get through there. I did try to put some stuff on the walls to kind of break up just that long plain pattern, but it's just not playable. Like that bazooka who's hanging out in the middle there, he's safe from any attacks because we're going to forget he's even there. From a hallway, we get into our medical bay. So again, got some more details on here, add some things on the wall, but the way to go is just that slide in, slide out features where I could just change up whatever the room needs to be at any given time. That's the waiting area. Then we get into the surgery bay. You see Doc's working on Roadblock. Looks like Roadblock is fighting what used to be an Imperial probe droid, which is now a surgery bot. Probably just routine, nothing left to see here. And from surgery, transition to the staging area. So this is just where our wounded troops, after they've gotten the bullets and xenoclaws ripped out of them, they go in here for a little bit of recovery. And then at the end here, we've got just one bay. I'm actually a little bit proud of how I did this one. This is where I want to go with the design features in here. You can see it's got a little more sci-fi type feel with the panels. We've only started introducing that onto these walls. And then in the end, again, some more paneling, some security guards, and this does wrap all the way around onto the other side. And coming around, we've got our first on the third deck here, or second deck here, the larger bay. Again, marauders, lockers, beds, just a good bunk area to play in. Hey, buddy. And we go into our arms room. I'm going to pan out here just a little bit because I spent a lot of time putting a lot of stuff in there. It's constantly a mess because, again, we are here to play. So all this stuff is always just constantly on the floor in here or in people's arms. Or whenever Zartan storms, they always come to the arms room, raid it, and overthrow the ship. Classic. We really need to get some better locked doors on here because this place is the first target when people attack. Again, I wish, looking back, I had not glued this onto the wall, and I'd made some sort of slide in, slide out feature. There's Roadblock just chilling out in the middle of the hall there. Transitioning to our suit room. Oh no, man. Jinro, amazing figure. That one knee, though, is starting to blow out. I'm going to have to get some nail polish on that to help tidy that up. Yep, love these smaller Gundam suits. We use them as just individuals rather than towering titans. Little gun rack going on there, and heavier guns on the side. And we've got a little android attending to them. We go from that suit room to the beefier suit room here. So just some cables and some bullets and stuff hanging off here, some charging panels. I tried to put some of those transparents back there. I used too dark of a background, so they're not showing up. We've got one of the many dial tones. Dial tone is just a tech that works in the ship for us. One of the many dial tones attending the station here. Going to add some more details on there. Again, it's a very slow process adding details for us. And going on to the other side of that hallway, you can see just how deep it is. There's this guy in full frame. If we were looking at me, looking at us on the other side there, I'd just be a distant blur. And from the long hallway into the science labs. This is the newest addition to the ship that we made. My boys are constantly capturing specimens, bringing them up from the surface, bringing them here, and of course they get loose onto the ship and kill the entire crew. Classic. When will we learn? I don't know. Try and get these containers, final faction figures locked into those containers there. And we've just got all sorts of just random jars. A custom mindbender that my best friend painted a long time ago. And let me show you one other feature we did on this here. All right, we've got our specimen jar. And, ooh. And the bottom deck here, guys, is our motor pool bay. Let me pan out here so you can see just how big this is. So again, as I've been building this thing, my design has changed with each deck level. This is actually just one big box. So I was really afraid of how much weight this is going to be. So you can see here, that's the end of the box and 2 pieces of plywood forming the entire box with some real sturdier supports here. Total overkill. Although this is supporting this entire upper deck ship here, so maybe not so much overkill, but this is bearing a lot of weight. So I didn't want to take any chances here. It really made it sturdy. Pretty sure it's a good foundation for a house, though. Again, hot mess. This is the bottom level, so it suffers the most whenever the kids want to play. A work in progress, custom Rolling Thunder, just ignore that. Grizzly tanks in maintenance here. Then we've got our lighter vehicles. And we found this cool book divider thing. I didn't know what the heck to do with it. It's got this cool like sci-fi circle thing. So we just use that to mount some of the smaller vehicles like motorcycles. Got the armadillo that can fit in there. That's a custom painted Triceratodon too, red. And then we've got some APCs and some desert foxes for the end of the bay. So we've got yellow bay here and the first one is blue. And I'll pan out here to show you. This again is a separate box because I was afraid when I was first designing this that having one long 8-foot piece would be terrible for moving. So you can see where the divide is right here between the two boxes. Very sturdy though. Can take a lot of weight. I could probably take naps on this thing, but I don't like the design, and I will probably be hacking this thing to pieces when we move. And there it is, guys. That is the entire ship in its whole, from all levels of the deck. Motor pool, to the crew quarters, to the hangar, to the very dark right now 4th level that we just added because there's no interior lights, to the top deck. Thank you very much for showing your interest in there. Again, if there's anything that you wanted to see more of, I know this was relatively fast, but I wanted to get through it quick. And I realized I wasn't giving very much love to the back side of this thing. Wow, that level is really dark in there. We've got to get some of those LED lights in there. It is just a shadow zone. There's all sorts of things to be creeping in there. So thanks so much. Let me know what you want to see more of and other videos I can post.